There's Ruby, all ready for another day. It's just one hint of cool this morning. It's like right at 70 degrees. Just a smidge better. Come on, Morris. I'm sure Don sees Morris too. He's always watching. Morris was just a little late for breakfast. Not too much, just a little. Backyard crew's all here. And Tux is up on the platform. Tux and Stripe had a fight last night, but they both seem fine. Hopefully they won't repeat it today. Good morning. You guys hold down the fort. Try not to have any problems this morning, please. Please, please. Especially while I'm not home to intervene. Yep, Tux had been working on being upset at Stripe for days, and last night after Taekwondo, he let him know he was really not happy with them. We're on time, good enough this morning, 7:15 arrival. It's 73 out there. Looks a little hazier this morning. Pretty dull and hazy this morning. Yeah, that's the word of the morning, hazy. Ruby says it's up to 75 now. It's 7:19, so on time, but not as early as some days. Well, I see the lawn crew here at Moore Square again this morning. They must, I think they come out multiple times a week, but don't always mow. I think some mornings it's just trying to clear the sidewalks and pick up trash and that kind of thing, but they show up with the truck and they do what they need to do. The main bus terminal's on my right, so that's why there are so many buses parked here. You gotta go slow through the crosswalks. I've seen people walk out from where the buses are right in front of you without stopping to look for cars coming. So that's taught me not to go past the buses very quick. I'm gonna turn right up here onto Simpkins Road. I'm at the Pelicans Ice Cream and the golf course little area on the left over there. And I think this goes over to Lake Wheeler and can scoot me around the Wake Tech construction in the afternoon, in particular when they have lanes closed. I have 5 to 10 minutes to explore. I don't think my miles and arrival time at the house changed by more than a minute. So I can get a feel for what's going on. Looked like there was another entrance over there to Wake Christian Academy, so that makes me wonder why some of the parents don't come down there to try to get into the school. Yep, there's the Wake County Speedway on my left. We wanted to go to that sometime, but we never made it. It's just a little dirt oval, but it would probably be fun to watch. I would especially want to go if they were doing a demolition derby night. I watched one of those at the Concord Motor Speedway back in the day, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think this comes out of the stoplight on Lake Wheeler, just south of Lake Wheeler Park. And it ought to be fairly easy to get down to Fuquay from there. I guess the distance over to Lake Wheeler is a little farther than I anticipated, but not too much farther. Here's the stoplight. Yeah, I think short of taking Tryon Road there at Garner at the 50-70 split or picking it up downtown, this is probably the best place to pick up Lake Wheeler. And there is a stoplight here, so it's not like I've got to try to make this left turn without assistance. So that's good. See, Pelican Snowball and Ice Cream and the Wake County Speedway. That was a long light, and yeah, the traffic into Raleigh is pretty steady. I was wrong. That road comes out halfway in between Lake Wheeler and Yates Mill, because here's Lake Wheeler Park. Yeah, Ruby's trying to get me back over to 401. No, thank you. Honestly, I'd be totally willing to lose 5 minutes or go an extra 5 miles if I wouldn't have to deal with the construction zone and the crazy driving and the closed lanes of traffic and all of that stuff over there. Because really, especially coming home in the afternoon, I don't have a hard stop, you know. It just really doesn't matter. 5 more minutes in the car won't change anything. I'm trying to think if I remember where the construction comes across this road. I looked it up last night. It's supposed to be completed from Highway 55 over in Holly Springs to I-40 on the other side of Michelle by 2023. So the rest of this year, all of next year, and sometime into 2023. So basically all the time that I have left to drive Johnny downtown is when they're going to be working on that construction. But probably the growing pains of getting through the intersections and stuff will come sooner than later, so yeah. Yeah, if I just stay on Lake Wheeler until it dead ends down at 401, because that's what happened. I could turn right and come in on Johnson Pond, but that road's closed for a little while for some reason. Probably the 540 construction too, where I can just stay straight here and I will drop out to 401. And it'll be the other side of everything that is irritating me. So here's where 540's coming through over here. There's a development and there's the road work all at the same time over here. But this doesn't look too problematic. I guess it's development first and then road work. Because it's got to come all the way across west to east here. There's no getting past it. There is another part of it from I-40 over to 64. And that is not supposed to start until like 2029 or something, I think the website said. Which is a little difficult to understand. I didn't really realize they weren't working on the complete loop still. But you pick up I-40, so it would save us a lot of time, like when we're going to Rocky Mount, if that part were done. So maybe in our lifetime, that would be good. Yeah, maybe in our lifetime. I'm looking up here. They just put in several developments on Lake Wheeler, which from a traffic perspective for people commuting, because this is a major north-south artery coming out of Fuquay and Garner and going into downtown Raleigh. They just are putting in all of this housing here on the left. And I think now we're approaching Fuquay city limits, so they're probably going to have all these houses, even though we're still 18 minutes and 9 miles from the house, from Fuquay proper. Oh, there's Stripe, and I do see Marty up the hill in the chair up there. Tux did get one boo-boo on his head last night in the scuffle. I'm monitoring it. It's not puffy or swollen or oozing this morning, so maybe cleaning it with betadine fixed it. And actually that's Morris up in the chair and not, because that's Marty. I second that big sigh. Sometimes when we get out here, it's like,
Yeah, I agree. It's just like, I don't know. Today's the day. It's Friday. Thank God. If I could just get through the day. If it would actually help, if they, you know, they used to have the mailboxes where you could pull off to the side, and the mailbox, it was like a pull-off lane. You could pull up and put your letter in from the driver's seat.
right.
You know, they don't have those so much. I mean, I'm sure they still have them all over the place, but there's none around locally here. They kind of reduced the number of mailboxes. I wonder, maybe we ought to consider doing trash cans that way. So people, when they come down the road, they can say, well, this is an easy on, easy off place. Let me just pull off here real quick and pull up to the trash can and get rid of my beer cans and my
it wouldn't help.
It wouldn't help?
No.
Okay, well.
But you're right, the one at the environmental park, there are a few more off of the, I mean, even if you get out the door, you still got to walk like 10 steps to get to the trash can.
I'm talking about,
Johnny and I know.
I'm talking about it, and like at McDonald's, when you leave the parking lot, they have that thing with the kind of a crane, a neck that sticks out. So
right, it's a little easier for you to get it in there while you're in the car.
While you're in the car.
Yep.
So,
I don't think it would help.
Yeah. Oh well.
No conscience about trash is no conscience about trash. They just make it easier on the people already doing the right thing. So one of our viewers wanted to know what you thought about the pack cells. It's LG, right? The battery fires in the bolt.
People.
What do you think, if you had any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of yucky, obviously. I feel there's no winners in that. I don't know what the root problem is. You know, obviously something's amiss. I think GM's doing the best they can, but it's going to cost them some serious money. Rob, with Tesla Daily, he said he calculated it out. It's approximately $12,500 a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, and so it's expensive. And of course the thing is, how many of them are really defective? I don't know. There's no easy way to tell. But of course you don't want your house burned down. So I guess hopefully it'll teach people lessons, and they'll spend a little bit more time being a little bit more methodical with their design.
Change signs with me. Right, well that was one of the things that, you know, people say, oh, Tesla's supercharger network is the reason why you would still want a Tesla over another EV. That's their, what's the right word, Donnie? That's their advantage. That's their competitive advantage. But one of the things I said is Tesla has a ton of data about the charging curve and how to maintain batteries and what wears batteries out and how to keep batteries safe. They have a ton of data, and I think that's a safety advantage over some of these newer packs. And oh, well, we're going to charge faster than the Tesla Porsche. And you know, it takes a while to have a lot of cars on the road to get that feedback. So I think, not that Tesla hasn't had any cars catch fire, not trying to say that, but they've had a lot of time to learn and make changes, and Tesla makes changes really fast in comparison to some of these other auto dealers too. So
yeah, that over-the-air update, you know, I think GM tries to have, you know, you have to take it to the, in other words, they tried to fix it with software. And,
right, surely with the Bolt, they did try to fix it with software. And then they had a car catch fire with the fix on. Right. Which was the really disappointing thing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with, this gets kind of back to the recycling of the batteries. This sort of brings it forward. Because obviously, I watched, was it Weber Auto, Professor Kelly, and he took apart and reassembled a Bolt battery pack. And I wouldn't trust my local GM dealer
to do that.
Now maybe they've got that skilled of technicians.
Right.
But that took patience, time, and if you were paying for that, I'd just assume you replace the battery pack.
Right, because of the labor cost.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, because to get the integrity water, you know, it's got to be watertight. You know, keep out the water, and to get that, it's a process. And I guess my point is, I don't see how you can economically service that pack. Now, I think if you could drop the pack, ship it off. Of course, they're big and heavy. They're not trivial to ship.
Right, move it to a battery fix center.
Yeah.
But the weight would seem to make that not economical either.
Right, so that's what I was saying. This is one of those things where, you know, it gets back to, like I said, the recycling. You know, like if you pull that battery out, now what are you going to do with it? Because fixing it is very time-consuming and expensive, and plus you want a quality repair. You know, you don't want to fix at it, you want to fix it. So this is going to be interesting. You know, Tesla never did a fleet-wide replacement. Now Hyundai's done that. And
knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
And now GM's going through that. It's
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as we're trying to increase EV adoption, the media hyping every EV fire in the news is hurtful to that adoption, I think. Not to say that every fire at this point in the new technology shouldn't be investigated, but it shouldn't be hyped. So Don and I did talk. We have a fire alarm in the smoke detector in the garage. Yeah. But it's a standalone, not smart smoke detector.
Yeah, it doesn't send notifications.
And we are probably going to change it to Nest. We have one Nest in the house. I really like that one because when I smoke up the kitchen, Johnny can go stand on the sofa and push it and turn it off. Tell it, yeah, we know. And it gives you a warning before it gets loud for people with sensitive ears, and it goes to your phone. And there's a couple of things to like about it, even though it's pricey. But we want to see if the one goes off in the garage, if it will signal the one in the house to go off too, so that if there's a fire during charging in the middle of the night, we would get woke up so we could do something about it sooner than later. I mean, for us with the detached garage, it's a little less of a concern than people that have a attached garage, but and please be clear, we're not really worried about it. We take reasonable precautions and then we don't ever need it, sort of our thinking. So I need to do a little research and then go order the right fire alarm, whether it be a Nest to link to the Nest in the house or some other one that would do something to get our attention even if we're asleep. Because, you know, even during the day, getting a notification on the phone only, Don wouldn't never see it, and I'd be downtown Raleigh when I might see it. So yeah, we need the alarm in the house to go off and a message to the phone. So look into that. I mean, I think your garage ought to have a fire alarm in it, smoke detector, whether you have an ICE car or an EV. And all the better if it gets your attention in the house and you're not relying on hearing it go off. So we watched Sandy Monroe's rant and we really like Sandy, and we don't miss any of his videos, even if we're a day or two behind on it. And I agree with Rob Maurer. There were a couple of inaccuracies in Sandy's video. And
his
I also
rant.
I also agree with Rob that I agree with the premise behind where Sandy was coming from with what he was saying was happening, because there can be no doubt if we're releasing that there's a new investigation on the same day Tesla has one of their yearly major events, the AI Day, that's not a happen chance. That's not random. I think that was purposeful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hated it that Sandy got a couple of points wrong. It wasn't autopilot. It was, I mean, it wasn't fires, it was autopilot. But the sentiment, all of his sentiment was right. And I super appreciate his support. And again, American Tesla, American company, union or not, American company, American innovation. I realize Elon wasn't born in America, but he put a claim here and he puts all his work here. So good enough for me. And think about that. You know, who are we backing? American or not American?
Yep.
Well, this is the start of lap 2, and I am definitely noticing that there's a little bit more breeze and a little less humidity today. It's not great, don't misunderstand, but in comparison to the last 2 mornings, there is a little bit of refreshment in the air, a hint of things to come as we move closer to fall. Johnny, you know, I guess at the school he has one classroom with barely any air conditioning that's super hot. And then he told me he has another class in a classroom where he's cold and he took his jacket today. That sounds like a very wide range in temperatures, poor kid. It's a lot to, I mean, he must have been really motivated to carry a jacket in August. Yeah, it's too bad. Well, those are older buildings, you know, getting the heating and air conditioning just right in those buildings is always going to be problematic. All right, we're ending our 3rd lap. Time to go back down the trail. See a bunch of the gray vultures up on top of the baseball field, light in front of us too. It's got to be 15 up there. Yeah, the town's been trying to run them off the water tower by hanging on string fake dead birds that look like them. And apparently it's working a little bit, and so now they're taking up residence at South Park, and I would argue that that is not a good trade-off. Please let them go back to the water tower. And you don't want to know what our roads look like with dead animals and roadkill without them cleaning it for you. I like these guys. I have no problem with them whatsoever. But then, you know, I'm an appreciator of animals, so they're here for a reason. So today's going to be pretty similar for me as yesterday was. Work on my Lego project a bit. Maybe leaving time to swing into Guardian Angel and take a quick peek. Head downtown to grab Johnny. Yeah, I think that's how today's gonna go. Maybe with a couple of other chores thrown in there. I try not to load you guys down with household chore stuff, but you know, last night Don and I were out in the kitchen cleaning up. Cooking real food means a kitchen that needs to be cleaned after dinner, and we got the cat bowls loaded up and the dishes cleaned up and the Instant Pot cleaned up and the counter, and I vacuumed, and you know, it's a process. Thankfully Don's so good at pitching in even with him working. I picked up a few things, but you know, at 9 o'clock at night, 9:30 at night, he doesn't expect to be in there sitting on the couch while I go out and clean the kitchen after I did the cooking. He always gets up and help, or asks if I need help, or asks what he can do. Hopefully that's demonstrating some really good marriage skills to Johnny, because it's very important these days in particular. Right, Donnie?
That's fine. I have good marriage skills.
Right, I was bragging on you helping to clean up the kitchen. Yeah. Never watches TV with his feet up without offering to help or asking if he can help, or yeah, I'm really lucky.
So one of the podcasts or YouTubes I watch is The Diet Doctor, and he talked yesterday, had a video about a new study that was released with children ages 2 to 19. 2 surveys. The survey was done in 1999. In other words, back in 1999, kids, like 15,000 of them, took this survey, what they ate in 1999. And then they surveyed a different set of kids, obviously ages 2 to 19 in 2018. The Haynes study is what this is.
And I guess it just got sorted out and published.
Yeah, sorted out and published or something. Yeah, so the point is, every category except one has gone in the wrong direction from a processed food point of view. Even fruits and vegetables consumption has not increased, it's actually decreased. The only thing that's decreased since 1999, which is a positive thing, a decrease, is the number of sugary drinks. Went down from like 10% of the kids to 5% of the kids drank sugary drinks. So,
I question how that's possible, but I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, well, they didn't
explain, yeah, what the actual question was.
Right.
Yeah.
But even fruit consumption, obviously all
you can turn around.
Things went down. So I thought it was interesting. You know, the more ultra processed and processed foods have increased, which, you know, with everybody saying don't eat processed food. I mean, even if you're vegan, keto, low fat,
carnivore, vegetarian,
one common denominator is cut out processed foods, and some of them cut out sugar too, but you could certainly say that most people get the added sugar
from the processed food. Right. Yeah, he said basically vegans and people that eat meat, let's agree on, let's try to eat real food and not focus on the, well, you're eating too many plants or you're eating too much meat. Let's focus on the trying to help the people that aren't even health conscious cut out processed, ultra processed food. This is why I don't like those Beyond Burgers. It's a ultra processed food. I do not see how anyone can think it is a healthy replacement. You know, if you want to have a salad instead of a burger, amen, no problems. Just make sure your salad dressing doesn't have canola oil or soybean oil in it, which is kind of hard to do. Make your own oil and vinegar out of olive oil and maybe balsamic or something. But yeah, if I were gonna, you know, try to get a family that's still eating a lot of processed foods to change up a couple of things, it would be don't eat any of the vegetable oils, pick healthier fats, and don't buy anything at the grocery store that comes in a box. And what you pick along the outside of the store, I don't care. Even though we do low carb, you know, that's maybe not for everyone. You know, Don and I are sort of doing we're 50 and 60 something and we need to fix ourselves because we ate the wrong stuff for so long. You know, with other people, maybe they're not showing signs of being broken yet and can do things a little differently. But, well, we talked a lot today. I had you walking backwards. We picked up some trash. I'm not expecting 17-minute time today. I'm expecting high 18, low 19s.
Yeah, so 5,583 steps, 48 minutes, 21 seconds, 2.4 miles, I'm sorry, 2.69 miles, 240 calories per mile, if you wanted to know, and 1755.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
happy with
18.
it. Yeah, under 18. With all the talking and walking backwards and
yeah, that definitely
a couple of stops.
slows me down. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I guess I better get going.
All right, I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. See you back at the house. Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss. Yeah, Don says he's hoping to knock off at 3 or 3:30 when Johnny and I come in the door this afternoon. One of his contracts is on hold. Of course, he's worked more hours this week than he was working when he was working both contracts, trying to keep the conference call contract on schedule or get caught back up, really is the way it is. But he explained to me a major task would be done by 3 or 3:30 and he couldn't even start on the next task until after hours. So probably he's gonna start his weekend a little early. That, and he already has a ton of hours in. So yeah, that'll be nice. Johnny does not have his Taekwondo class tonight because they're doing regular testing all the color belts. And when they do that on Friday night and Saturday morning, that precludes them from having the black belt candidate training class. But 2 weeks from Saturday is an actual 3rd degree black belt test. So he's got 2 weeks and counting. I didn't do any extra walking in the parking lot today. I've got 6,500 steps so far. Hopefully I won't be regretting that tonight about 10 o'clock because I have to get up and go. My roses blooming pretty.
It went off in the house too.
Don is having to do a little bit with the driveway alert, and I think he's fixed it. Had to replace a part down on the driveway. Nighttime is going to provide support while I do the desk cycle for a bit. I figured that would be a good idea. And looking at the haunted house and the red grocer up there, the double building, the one I'm working on right now is not as small as one of them and not as big as both of them, but like 1.5 the size of those. So to give you a feeling for what it's going to look like when it sits up there, if that's where I put it permanently. Yeah, so I'm going to dream of Legos and cycle on. It's been a few days and I want to work on my arms, and I want to make sure at 10 o'clock tonight I'm not upset because I don't have enough steps. I'll do what I'm supposed to do and then I'll go play with my Legos. So I ended up doing 30 minutes on the desk cycle. I'm at 10K steps now. I cooled down and I am working on my Lego building a little bit. I just built this bar for the center of the kitchen. It goes in there something like that. There's a couple studs to hold it in place. So there's the cute little sink. There's the kitchen complete with door that opens. I went white and red, and now this thing is chrome, and I've got a brass sink. So I might try to rebuild the refrigerator with red or white, or I might not. I gotta press it in better. I did order the rest of the grass for the back side. Not sure if I'm gonna put maybe a row of flowers all the way across, and then I don't know, I'm gonna do something back there. But I ordered more green tiles so I have enough to do the grass, and I ordered this missing piece. I think I forgot to order, there's one piece missing here and here. Probably need to order that. And I'm probably gonna leave the kitchen the way it is because there's so much white in there. I don't know that I want more white. If I do something, I might just change out the whole front of the door to be red, but leave the rest of the fridge chrome. Well, I am leaving a solid 10 minutes later than I meant to, but I'll still have 20-25 minutes to run into Guardian Angel. I just didn't want to stop in the middle of the kitchen. I dilly-dallied around too much doing other stuff after I finished on the desk cycle, you know, cooling down on the computer, just, you know, not being as productive as I should have been. Anyway, I'm doing fine. Fine on time. I can make it work. With only 20 minutes to spare, this really will be a fast trip today. Stay on track, Marianne. Focus. Lego bricks. Lego bricks. Look in the 3 places they might be and get the heck back out of Dodge. Sure wish those were the right size. I got one more decorative cardboard box. It was under the one I got yesterday, or the one I got yesterday was under it. Should have just got it yesterday. All the bikes are 50% off right now. That's a good deal. They're a good deal any day. 50% off is even a better deal. See, this is the Costco on the left, and now headed inbound on the right. They're doing something over here on the right at this neighborhood. Like, I guess they're going to start putting more houses in over here or something. They cleared out the trees near the road. They put up the fence, out parcels available. So I guess they're going to put some sort of shopping or something in on the other side. So now we have to have construction on both sides of the road back there. And every afternoon this week, they've had the right lane closed. And it causes you to merge right before the stoplight. And with all the red light runners, I suspect that's why we had the accident the other day. It's just too much. It's just too much. And then up here on the right, this beautiful stand of trees. They are, they've cut into the forest in 3 different places. And they're clearing land down in there too. Here, I'll point the camera this way as we're coming up on the area where they're working. I guess they're hauling trees out of there, but I'm sure that's going to be development or houses or a new road or something. It just doesn't end on this road. I mean, I think all the projects are great, but do we have to do them all at exactly the same time? I'm sorry. I just want to drive downtown without lane closures and dump trucks. Wow, no clouds this afternoon at all, and no chance of rain either, apparently. We really could use the rain. As a matter of fact, I think the whole next week looks rather dry. Home, and I got Ruby out of the baking sun. I've got one more errand to run today, so I'm not going to plug her in yet. It's the weekend! And you got off work at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, just like you said you were going to.
Fine, I did it.
Yay! And we're watching our video first up today. And I am building the refrigerator in red. I'm going to keep the chrome one for another house because I really like this unique design of this refrigerator build. But I just, with the white walls in this kitchen and the white and red, I wasn't happy with it, the color. So the second floor is going to be very similar to the first floor, minus the porch. How convenient there's a piano, because you know what? I built that piano that didn't fit in that other house, and I have it all ready to go. I'm back from my errand, and Ruby's sitting at 92 miles, and I am plugging her in. So she'll be ready to go with an 80% charge again. So I got the floor for the second story, the second floor assembled and put together, and it's ready for me to start building on it. There's like a yellow square or two, you know, white is funny, but you know, older tiles, they pick up, the white picks up color, but it's all going to be covered in floor tiles, flat tiles, so you're not even going to see it, so it's not going to matter. And yeah, I was going to not build on top of the bottom, but I don't know, it's kind of fragile. We'll see. Maybe after I get the floor pieces on, it'll have even more support, and I'll take it off and then build away from it. I don't know. I might change my mind.